Hi, welcome back to Jen's Addiction. I'm so glad you came back to see me today. And on today's episode, I'm going to do a little bit of a Halloween holiday countdown. Say that 13 times fast. I don't think I could, even if I wanted to. It's basically a list of records that I've pulled from my collection that have songs on them that I think make for a perfect Halloween themed audio backdrop for whatever you're doing this fall season. I love to listen to any kind of themed music during a holiday, not just for Christmas, but especially at Halloween. And I can't think of some of the more perfect songs or albums than some of the ones I will showcase today. So it may not be everybody's holiday. If you don't celebrate Halloween or participate, that's okay too. Maybe some of these albums or songs are just things you might enjoy anyway. But if you do, and you are ready to kind of make that special playlist for yourself or for a party, maybe this will inspire you a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and count down. I'll pull some albums, showcase some songs, and maybe in some instances, the whole album is perfect for that special holiday occasion. But whatever it is, please make sure that you comment in the comments below if you have any additions that maybe I haven't thought of, or any other fun kind of Halloween antidotes. What are you guys going to be doing this Halloween season? Do you just pass out candy and then play music really loud so everybody can hear it? We usually set up some kind of fun, I don't know, sort of like a theme. And then the kids come through, but I always play something in the background. I always have some type of music going. So I thought it would just kind of be fun to do an overview. So I'm going to jump right into it. Halloween is obviously one of my absolute all-time favorites. And I thought what I would do is kind of kick it off with a few items, just get them out of the way fast, because you know I'm going to mention them. So I might as well just start out with them. The first being some music from The Damned. I've highlighted Phantasmagoria so many times, you guys are probably tired of me talking about it. But with songs like Shadow of Love, Sanctum Sanctorum, Grimly Fiendish, you really cannot beat this particular album as part of your holiday playlist. So right out of the gate, Phantasmagoria would be one that I would add to my playlist. And then Night of a Thousand Vampires. I've highlighted this one before. It has, Beauty and the Beast, Waiting for the Blackout, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So all sorts of monstery themed goodness on this one particular record. And again, I just don't think there is any way you could go wrong with this album. Everything about it just kind of sort of screams vampire-y goodness. If you don't have it and you love The Damned, I would highly, highly recommend that record. The next one I've mentioned before too, Fiends of Dope Island. It has, Big Black Witchcraft Rock. Oh my gosh. Let's see what's another good one. Some of these titles I can't say, you guys. Color Me Black, Mojo Man from Mars. So if the Cramps are your cup of tea, as they are mine, this is still a definite play for any Halloween playlist. Die Die My Darling by the Misfits has Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight? So it's sort of a little bit of a fiendish record. Okay, now we'll move into a few things that I have not necessarily talked about. I've showcased in some other videos, but you may or may not be familiar with. So Vampire at the Harpsichord, I think anytime you get odd classical, odd harpsichord music, harp music, anything like that, it is an absolute win. This is put out by a company called Electric Lemon, and it truly is spooky classic favorites. There's one side, and then there's the other side with like the lemon cut. I thought it was kind of cool. You get Flight of the Vampire, Moonspell, Undead Theme, Waltz of Souls. So this one, again, I originally purchased because of the visuals and the art that were involved with it, but it has so many spooky classics on it. I really do not think that you can go wrong with a record of this style. So if you're out and about looking for things to listen to, you might check some of the classical bins, some of the various music and compilations, which is where I think I might have found that one. This is a Wonderland Singers Spooky Halloween. I have showcased this on a different video before, but it's just all kinds of fun little Halloween themed songs like Bats in the Belfry, Witches Go Flying, a Halloween song, a Pumpkin Man. So you kind of get the gist. Like, I think it's pretty kid friendly. Any sort of, song groupings like that. I like to kind of curate the playlist to kind of put like serious songs in with fun songs and different bits and pieces. So I think that's something you can do, like to create your own kind of style. Again, another no-brainer that everybody seems to pick is Nightmare Before Christmas, but this is Halloween. It's probably one of my more favorite ones. Jack's Lament, so many great songs, and that essence that Danny Elfman brings to all his work makes it an instant Halloween classic. I played at Christmas time too, so I think it's good for all occasions. So now we kind of get into a few albums that aren't on the surface so blatantly Halloween themed. But one of my favorite Love and Rockets songs is Haunted When the Minutes Drag. And it's a longer song, but a lot of their records just have such a quality to them, kind of a dark, moody quality, a different, similar to their time with Bauhaus, of course, but just kind of a little bit of a different vibe. But I really think Haunted When the Minutes Drag is just an absolute beautiful song, but also one that I would totally add to my Halloween playlist in a heartbeat. The Cramps song, the songs the Lord taught us. This one has I Was a Teenage Werewolf on it, Garbage Man. Oh my gosh. Let's see, is it Zombie Dance? Yeah, Zombie Dance is on here, Tear It Up, Fever. So there's all sorts of songs that I think they kind of were known for, that darker, spookier, Halloweeny, punk rock, goth bass to begin with. But everything about this record has that same sort of tone and mood to it that I think it's perfect from start to finish to play on any Halloween soundtrack, let alone just on your day to day. Because I'm a little biased. I am a little bit of a Cramps fan, in case you didn't know. So the next one would be Bad Music for Bad People, Goo Goo Muck, Human Fly. I mean, I think with the TV show Wednesday making Goo Goo Muck popular, every time I hear a Halloween soundtrack now in a store, it is present. If you're doing something for kids, if you're doing something for a large group, it's kind of a no-brainer and a win. I still think some of the others, like I think Garbage Man has an odd quality to it too. But those two specifically, not to mention how cool that would look up on your Playing Now little bar if you have one of those on your record player. Famous Monsters Speak. This particular record just has voices and stories and outtakes with monsters. I have not opened my copy yet, but I think that is kind of obviously a win. But I was going to say, if you have any similar kinds of records from older TV shows or stories or things like that are spooky and fun, I think it is always a win. This particular one has Dance Macabre on it. This was it is Pierre Dervaux conducting the Orchestre de Paris. My French is not good. So anybody in France listening to me now, I do apologize. I would like to think I could speak French, but I'm not doing very good right now. Oh, can you hear the children of the night? What music they make. Right on time, Gracie. But so this has Dance Macabre on it. A lot of other really beautiful sort of songs that have become a little bit of a Halloween standard, if you will. Again, classical music. I think that is such a win for the Halloween season. Any sort of songs that you might hear in certain elements from like Fantasia. But this particular grouping of music is really, really quite lovely and really pretty. And I like the artwork. If you like the Grateful Dead, that will look very similar to you. Now, the next couple, I don't know. I can't not include them. I have some soundtracks here from different movies. I mean, of course, I think this is sort of a no-brainer. And that is Ghostbusters. This is my original Ghostbusters, still in the little old shrink wrap, which I have opened. But, you really can't go wrong with a Ghostbusters soundtrack. And I I like it so much you could even do it twice. I mean, because who doesn't need Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2? So those would be probably easy wins, especially if you have younger kids. I mean, let's face it, you just kind of have to have fun with it. I don't want everything to be spooky and weird, but Miko is Miko. Yeah, Moon Dance. I've been kind of collecting these. What I love about this is down here, kind of at the Moon Disco, there's Frankenstein and Dracula and like all these other characters. And some of the song titles on here, I think, are just super appropriate. I mean, if you wanted to pick and choose and make your own like Spotify playlist, but you get Love Me Dracula, Spooky, Devil Delight, Living in the Night. So it is that 70s funk disco sound that he's known for, but I think it does have that sort of Halloween-y element to it that would be an instant win. So speaking of radio shows, I happen to have this record. I think I've showcased it when it was just like things that I picked up. Bloodbath with Vincent Price, and then Suspense starring Peter Lorre. They're both just great live radio performances captured on record to re-listen to anytime you want. And it is just fun. I just think it's a lot of fun. I don't know if it's party fun. Maybe if you could take bits and pieces of it and mix it into another playlist. Like I don't know, I used to make cassette tapes that way, right? But does anybody still make cassette tapes like that? Where you could play a song, something fun, something dark. You could have a little bit of dialogue in between. I mean, I think that's where some of this would come in, some great quotes. But the Vincent Price side is particularly lovely on that record. Close Encounters of the Third Kind would be my next pick. I think this is just a classic sound. These songs by John Williams, I think, are iconic. They definitely give that feeling that you would have on a night when you'd be out looking up at the stars and see the unexpected. So I think this is a really strong example of a soundtrack that would be perfect for any occasion, but especially for Halloween. And then talking about soundtracks that do music and dialogue. So I have this is a Stranger Things. It's kind of a special edition. It had music from season 1 and season 2. So it does have more rock themed music on it. But what it also has is sort of an example of what I was talking about earlier. And that is where in between songs, they will put in parts from the TV show. So there's a dialogue, just because people tell you. Another one, maybe I'm crazy. So they have these little sections from the show that intermittently pop up between songs. And then all the songs are, of course, songs that they played on the show. And of course, if you have younger kids, any kids really, I mean, I love Stranger Things. Everybody seems to love Stranger Things. But even just having it out as decoration and then being able to play it intermittently through the night, I think is just such a big, big win for any party and always a favorite. I know when I just pull it out casually to listen to it, because it has so many great songs on it anyway, people get super excited whenever they see Stranger Things. So I think that is a win. Or if you find any other albums like that, I think it's a win. Nothing to Fear by Oingo Boingo, I think, is another one. I mean, Dead Man's Party is an obvious choice for many reasons, but, obviously an iconic look. It is very strange, very odd. You have the little skeletons and different things all around it. But, Danny Elfman always brings something a little unique to the table. It has songs like Nothing to Fear, Gray Matter, Reptiles and Samurai, Islands. So it's just, I don't know. I just think some of the tone and quality of his work and his voice lends itself to this kind of season and that type of a soundtrack if you were to put one together. So again, that is Nothing to Fear from Oingo Boingo. I have shown Christian Death before. Any type of early goth music, I think, definitely has a tone and quality to it, as I've said so many times before. But with songs like First Communion, Burnt Offerings, I mean, you kind of get the idea. It will definitely fit the bill as far as creating a little more interest and atmosphere. And I guarantee you some songs that some of your guests or trick-or-treaters or whatever maybe have never heard before. So pretty iconic band. I just love that record so much. Another great example of a soundtrack that is timeless in so many ways, but especially this time of year, would be Rocky Horror Picture Show. I was trying to remember if I mean, they sing all the great hits and it kind of goes through. I don't think they have soundbite outtakes per se on this one. I don't know why I'm forgetting, but it's just, again, you could play that start to finish. Anybody is going to sing along. They're going to have fun with that one. You could probably do your own party. You could throw a Rocky Horror Picture Show party if you had the soundtrack. You could play the music. Everybody could dance or, dress up and, sing along. And I don't think you'd want people throwing like burnt toast and things all over your living room. But maybe that would be fun. I don't, I don't know. There is a lot. Rat would be another band, heavy metal band I could think of. Wasp, Guar, like any of those visually would be great. I've highlighted this one before, but you could pull songs like Looks That Kill, Shot at the Devil off, and those would be wonderful additions. And really change up the pace and tone to any playlist. I love a lot of variety on my playlists. So I think anytime you can do that is just sort of a win. I think people appreciate that too. Head on the Door was another one I've showcased for the album cover before. Of course, I'm a Cure fan, but what I love on so many levels about this particular album is the vibe that it gives. I mean, you could play Forest, 17 Seconds, Pornography, all those early albums I think would also serve you well. But with songs like In Between Days, The Blood, A Baby Screams, Close to Me, A Night Like This, and Sinking, I absolutely love. It just kind of ticks all those marks. And I think Head on the Door is just, it's a winner anytime, but I specifically think it would be a winner this time of year. I've mentioned Skinny Puppy before. I won't keep going over it, but I think so much of this album that it samples from movies and different things. I mean, so much of the album's atmosphere comes from that intense sound and sampling and diverse, eclectic qualities of these songs. They're pretty intense, some of them, and I think would really be good for a spookier night for sure. I'll tell you, any Skinny Puppy song on headphones in the dark when you're just really chilling, and then somebody speaks or screams or something comes over it, and you just think, "Holy cow!" What I just listened to. And speaking of that, I used to fall asleep with headphones on listening to this one, The Chilling, Thrilling Sounds of the Haunted House. It is an absolute classic. I would always play this when I was waiting for trick-or-treaters. I mean, you just get, shipwreck sounds and wind sounds for a haunted house, dogs barking, thunder, lightning. There's just so much. When they kind of do their version of Alfred Hitchcock's Birds with the song or track Birds on here. So it is just crazy good. I'm pretty sure anybody in my wheelhouse, age-wise, must have had a copy of this or remember it in some way or another. So awesome. I love this one so much. Another kind of new old favorite, Duran Duran's Dance Macabre. What makes this album great, besides new tracks where they do covers of things like Paint It Black and Super Freak, but they also redo their own songs. So early songs like Night Boat, and let's see, they had done Secret October. Like they just kind of give it a deeper, darker, moodier quality. But oh my gosh, this whole album is great anyway, but I think it's especially great this time of year and you can really appreciate it. And if people aren't big Duran Duran fans, they may listen to this one and think about them different. It's a very different kind of album. I really like their version of Talking Heads Psycho Killer. They do Susie and the Banshee Spellbound. So just some amazing songs on that record. Another kind of win for me, any Bauhaus record, anytime is fantastic. This particular one does have the classic Bela Lugosi's Dead on it. You could pull that out again and record it, put it on a Spotify playlist. But I think if you played any of their albums or this album start to finish with like Flat Fields, and it's got so many good ones. This was a live recording, so it has a lot of atmosphere and quality to it that is different than any studio performance. But you would get In the Flat Field, Rose Garden Funeral of Sores, A Man with X-Ray Eyes, Bela Lugosi's Dead, Kick in the Eye, Fear, Fear. I mean, so many good songs. I'm a big Bauhaus fan, so always a win for Bauhaus. And then I'm down to my last two. I have shown this one once before in a different episode I did. And I really have to say that these recordings by Rob Zombie, taking classic movies, and you get to hear them kind of start to finish. And I mean, they're just recorded really well. They sound great. This is one of my favorite Vincent Price movies, The House on Haunted Hill. So many wonderful moments that you get to hear when you listen to this. And it's just, again, I think a visual win for a display, but it's just audibly fantastic too. It might be a good backdrop. I mean, it is just the movie. They're just, talking, but if you want different sounds or different elements to add, again, if you're curating your own playlist, this might be, again, something you could pull bits and pieces out of, but wow, these are just great. I think he do Night of 1,000 Corpses, and there's just a couple other different ones now that are totally eluding me which ones, but I've not been disappointed with mine at all. So excited to have this copy. And my very last record that I want to showcase would be a win start to finish. And it is Susie and the Banshees, All Souls. So this particular record has been curated, I believe, with kind of Halloween in mind. You get Fireworks, Halloween, Supernatural Thing, El Dia de los Muertos, The Sweetest Chill, Spellbound, Something Wicked This Way Comes, Rawhead and Bloody Bones, We Hunger, and Peekaboo. And it's just so good. I love it so much. It's aesthetically beautiful. It's got so many great songs that I love to hear, and what a great combination of songs. So again, in my opinion, I listen to it all the time, but it is especially good this time of year. It's a newer pressing. It may not be very difficult to find in the event that you wanted to buy a newer copy for yourself, but it does have kind of just a little bit of a nicer insert with it, and then just the regular black record. So I think all things about this record are a win, but especially the awesome sound combinations that it has really going for itself that I enjoy so much. So there you have it, you guys. Those are rundowns of some of my favorite albums that I love to play or curate songs from to make a Halloween playlist. I will add some of these songs to my Jen's Addiction Spotify playlist. So if you'd like to hear them there, I would totally invite you to follow the link that I'll provide down in the comments below. And then you can always go there anytime. Any episode that I air, I do try to pull a little bit from each episode and kind of deposit some songs and some different variety of items there on that playlist. So that will be there. But what kind of playlist will you curate? Do you have one already? What are some of your favorite Halloween or maybe spooky sounding songs that perhaps I didn't mention? I know there are so many others. Even while I'm pulling these records and thinking of things in my mind, I just stuck with LPs. I do have several great examples of songs that could be used from like my CD collection, but I just grabbed from my LP collection this time around, and hopefully you guys all enjoyed that. So I would love again to hear any comments below about how you celebrate the season, any playlists that you've made, maybe some specific songs that you really enjoyed, or songs from movies that you find really wonderful and fascinating and fun. There's just so many great, fun, memorable things about this holiday, and especially for a monster kid like myself. I don't know, I can't say enough good things about it. So thank you in your own little way by tuning in, which helps me celebrate this spooky season. And I hope in return that I have also helped you have a little bit more fun this Halloween. So until next time, I hope you are all spinning some spooky tunes, and you will come back and see me again real soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks.